Hello ladies and gentlemen, my name is Razovy, and today I want to talk about a game that I sincerely believe that if you love anime, you need to play that game. It's called Yakuza Like a Dragon, and I just want to talk about it. It's kind of like a rant kind of thing. Anything that you see on the screen is of course the game itself. I'll leave a link to where you can buy the game for cheap in the comment section, in the pinned comment. And do not forget to join my Telegram channel, which of course I have also linked in the pinned comment. That being said, let's get started. Now, like I said, the game title is Yakuza Like a Dragon. It is part of the Yakuza series, which is, in my opinion, a wonderful series. If you haven't played any of it yet, then I think that this video will surprise you in a good way, because it's a really, really good game. And I have played Yakuza 0 and Yakuza Like a Dragon. I am planning on getting into the other games, but for now, I just want to gush a little bit about Yakuza Like a Dragon. Now, before we start, I have to warn you, it is a turn-based combat game, and I know some people don't like that, but if you are into JRPGs, I think that you'll feel really at home with this game. Now, the Yakuza series is actually known for fighting. It's kind of like a fighting-esque type of game. So it's action combat, so to speak. And this is the first game in this series that uses turn-based combat. Now, what is it about? Basically, we follow a guy called Ichiban Kasuga. And this guy is orphaned, right? He basically, as a baby, he is left on the doorstep of a soapland. A soapland, by the way, is kind of like a brothel type of thing in Japan. Look it up if you're 18 or older, please. Otherwise, don't look it up. And basically, he is taken in by the owner as a baby, and he is taken care of by the women who work there, by the owner, who also who owns the place, basically. And he grows, as you can imagine, brothels and prostitution is illegal in Japan. So the fact that this is able to operate in Japan means that most likely, these types of places are owned by the Yakuza, which is like mafia, Japanese mafia, basically. So Kasuga grows up in a environment where many things blur the lines between what is legal and illegal, right? So he is known to not always do the morally or at least politically correct thing, so to speak. And eventually, he joins this Yakuza gang because he grows up in the whole thing, so why not join the whole thing? And he works for this boss whom he admires, who has taken care of him ever since he was like a little boy, so, he really respects the guy. And eventually a murder happens. A murder takes place within the game. And Kasuga didn't do it, but he is asked to take the fall for it, because if he doesn't take the fall for it, it could be traced back to his boss, whom he admires so much, and as you can imagine, the boss doesn't want to take the fall for it, so he asks Kasuga to do it. And Kasuga actually wants to do it because he feels like this is the best way to repay his debt. So he goes to jail for a couple of years. I forgot how many, but once he gets back into society after he sits out his jail time, he's put into modern Tokyo, right? Into nowadays with smartphones, and everyone dresses differently than they used to. People behave differently than they used to. So he really needs to adjust to the whole thing, right? Eventually, he starts meeting different kinds of people. For example, he meets a not necessarily a police officer, more like a detective, a retired detective who is still trying to solve some mysteries and is also trying to make some money because he, you know what, I shouldn't say that, I'm not going to spoil anything, but he meets a detective and they're going to work together, and he also meets this girl who also works for like this shady guy, and there are tons of protagonists who will eventually help Kasuga in his journey, right? But the point of the whole story is that Kasuga wants to take revenge on someone for doing something. I'm trying to keep it as vague as possible to avoid spoilers, but it's a very big story. It'll take you many, many hours to complete the story, even if you just focus on the story itself without doing any type of side content, which there is a lot of in this game. I still think it's like 50 hours for you to beat this game, so there's plenty of story to go around. My favorite character besides Ichiban Kasuga, of course, who is my absolute favorite character, is definitely Arachi, which is the police guy, the detective guy. He's I think I'm able to relate to him the most, and he's just a funny guy, normal guy, whom I can relate to the most. There's also, for example, Namba, who used to be, or at this point in time is homeless and used to be this a nurse, and he's the healer at first of the party and that kind of stuff. But that being said, like I said, it's a grand story with a lot of side quests. In fact, there's so many side quests that I believe if you do all of them, and you can, it's not like you need to restart the game, like, how should I put, like, do New Game Plus and stuff. You don't need to do that. You can do it in one playthrough. But I believe if you do all of them, it's like 100 hours or even more. Now, I am planning on doing this. I've completed it, but I've not done all of it, like not all of the side content. I want to do it though, but it's a lot. I want to get all of the achievements though. I really do. It's such a good game that I highly advise you to do the same. But even if you just only do the story, you're going to love this. Now, the balance between the side quests and the story, it depends on you. So the story introduces these side quests. It introduces things for you to do, fun mini games, to stories, to all kinds of stuff. But in theory, you could ignore literally all of it. You could just walk from point A to point B to point C to point D until you're all the way to Z, and then you've completed the game and you've only done the main story. You could do that. And it doesn't even make the game worse if you do that. But to be fair, the side content and the side quests, especially the side quests, the mini games, they're not all good, but the side quests, like the side stories, are amazing, all of them. And not because like they're so gut-wrenching or heartbreaking, or not like that. Some stories are really stupid. There's this guy pissing in the river, and people want to stop him from pissing in the river. And then you need to track down who the guy is that pisses in the river. So it's not all top-notch storytelling, but it can be really funny. It can be gut-wrenching and heartbreaking. But you know, most of it is just dumb fun, and it's awesome. It really, really is. So definitely do some side content. I'm not asking you to do all of it, but do some of it. It's definitely worth it. Some of it can be cryptic. I have used a guide for some of the side quests, simply because I had no freaking clue how to fix them, or how to do them, I should say. But one tip that I can give you if you are planning on buying this game and doing some of the side content, although I advise you to do it whenever you feel like it, some content can only be done once you have completed the full story. So keep that in mind. That's the only gripe I have with the side quests. Why do that? Let me just complete them whenever I want instead of having to wait until the story is complete. That's it though. Now when it comes to the voice acting, you can choose between Japanese, makes sense, it's in Japan, or English. Now I have played everything in Japanese, but I have heard, and this is only because I've heard it, I have not checked it myself, but I have heard that the English voice acting is very, very decent. In fact, almost on par with the Japanese voice acting. I have not tested this myself. This is only from hearsay, but do with that as you wish, okay? Now, the combat is, like I said, turn-based. It is definitely fast-paced, though. So we're not looking at, let me plan out all of my moves for like 100 hours before I make a move. It's not that type of combat. If it was that type of combat, I sincerely doubt I would have enjoyed the game as much, because I'm not really into that. It's very fast-paced. You can even turn on auto-battling, which I would not recommend simply because the AI is not as smart as you are most of the times, especially when it comes to healing. It's just not as smart, but you could do auto battling, and most of the times it's still okay. So like I said, it's very fast. You can use environmental stuff as well, like to throw stuff at your enemies and whatnot. So it's you know, if the turn-based combat turns you off, don't worry, it's not that bad, okay? It's really not that bad. There's a lot of variety in the game. Like I said, tons of different characters. Let's see, there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, I believe 6 characters that can join you, 5 or 6, out of the top of my head, that actually can join you and fight in your party. Plus all of these side characters that are really funny or really weird. There's this crime boss that likes to be a baby, right? That likes to be treated as a baby. There is a you can basically save this lobster, and then you can call the person that owns this lobster, and then you can use the lobster to throw that at your enemies, and it scares the shit out of them, and then it also does damage. Like I said, it's a ridiculous game on some ways, but it makes it so much fun. It's really Japanese, and if you like Japanese stuff, assuming you're watching my channel, I think we both do, you're going to love this, really. It even has like Mario Kart in it, but you're not playing as Mario, you're playing as Ichiban Kasuga, right? And they have to defeat all of these stupid wacky characters. It's awesome. The game is available for many different platforms. I'm a PC gamer. I do own a Nintendo Switch, but as you can imagine, this does not run on the Nintendo Switch. It is on PS4, PS5, it's on Xbox as well, and then of course on PC, which I played it on. I played it both on my Steam Deck and on my PC itself. Works fine. Also on if you have a Steam Deck, play it on your Steam Deck. It works flawlessly, by the way. And yeah, it's a good game. It really is. The music is gorgeous, but it's not always overruling, if you know what I mean. So what I want to say with that is the music is good, but it doesn't try to set a tone all the time. So if you're just walking around, you're not hearing this la 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 like this really happy stuff. It's not like that. You can really listen to all of the sounds within the city. It feels real. You know what I mean? It's not like a normal JRPG where the tone is always set by the music. Of course, in battles it is, as you can imagine. But and the dramatic moments, of course, have their own type of music and whatnot. But it's not overruling. That's what I want to say. So overall, it's a very story-rich game. It has engaging gameplay, and if you are an RPG fan, you're going to love this game. If you like JRPGs, you're going to love this game. If you like anime, you're going to like this game. And if you like anything Japan, you're going to like this game as well, because it is in Japan. It is like, I'll give you an example. I recently went to Japan. I recently visited Japan on holiday. And I went to a place in Tokyo, and I was like, I recognize this place. But I had never been there before. I had been to Tokyo, but only a day. I barely saw anything at the time. So I was like, I recognize this place. Why in the world do I recognize this? Turns out, it's a place in Yakuza Like a Dragon as well. So I was like, that's where I recognize it from. So it is, if you want to get this Japanese vibe, you're going to love this game, just like I did as well. There's also a new game coming, so I believe when did it come out? Let me quickly check. I believe it came out the 24th? Yes, the 24th of January. No, excuse me, the 26th. And it'll come out for PC, good for me, PS5, PS4, and the Xbox Series X and S, and Xbox One, which is awesome. Of course, it will still star Ichiban Kasuga, and it will also star the other protagonist from Yakuza 0, which is Kiryu, I believe. Yes, Kiryu. That's pretty cool as well. I'm really looking forward to that sequel. But so if you want to basically play the game before the sequel comes out, now is the best time to play it, because the sequel will come out soon. That is also kind of why I wanted to make this video, because a lot of people don't even know this game, which is really surprising to me. You should know this game. It's so freaking good. Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, like I said, I'll leave a link to the game where you can buy it for cheap for PC in the comment section down below. I'll also leave a link to my Telegram channel. I basically recommend a daily anime or manga or something every single day, like I said, so it's definitely worth it. And I just want to thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you guys later. Bye-bye.